race fans, welcome into round number 16 of the LSRL, the championship 200 here tonight at the hometown of NASCAR, the beautiful Charlotte Motor Speedway, here for 200 laps of on-track action here this evening. And as always, my co-commentator up in the booth, Art, how we doing tonight?
We are in for a long and grueling one, and I am ready. 200 laps at Charlotte to decide a champion.
Absolutely going to be a fantastic time here this evening. 2 laps of qualifying to set the grid for the decisive race of the season. Fuel capacity estimated at about 70%, which will give us a 38 to 42 lap run here this evening estimated. 5 tire sets to test these drivers. Stage break coming at lap 50, so first and only stage will be pretty straightforward. Have to make a pit stop in it. 0 fast repairs and 2 green-white checkers should we get to that point. Haven't needed it all season long. Don't expect tonight to be any different. It's going to be settled over the course of the long run here this evening. We will crown a champion here this evening. Your championship for Randy Arms, Glenn Murphy Jr., Jonathan Schwartz, and Ryan Tiller are going to be battling it out for the bragging rights, for the title, for the trophy. We can't wait to get underway here this evening. Final laps of practice are underway. Let's go ahead and get you right in to the on-track action. There is literally seconds left in practice. Jared Lindsay, top of the timing charts. Actually, Michael Davis has just jumped up there by 1/1000th of a second over Jared Lindsay. Glenn Murphy Jr. leading the way. Randy Arms right in tow. This qualifying is about to get underway. Jonathan Schwartz and Ryan Tiller, all the championship 4 in the top 7 here. Qualifying has just now gone live. First man out on track will be none other than Samuel Demien. '21 machine, Eric Shields also out. And Glenn Murphy Jr. And to get up to speed. All the other championship contenders have come out of the pits just yet. Got 5 minutes to get a lap time down.
Sorry, I was a bit quiet. Was checking on a disturbance outside. There's a tractor driving in my alley.
Here's the 21 machine for his first flying lap down the back straightaway. In turn number 3, speeds reaching nearly 180 miles an hour. He'll cross the line. At a time of 30. Did not count. Looks like he actually hit the wall out of turn number 4 there. So Eric Shields and now Jonathan Rizella. Top of the board, 30.633. Murphy Jr. back out. Here comes his first timed lap off of turn number 4. You saw the puff of smoke off of turn number 4 and validating the number 21 machine's lap time. Glenn Murphy Jr. sets out for his final timed lap. 1 and 2, let's go on board through 3 and 4. This is a vital qualifying lap. Into turn number 3. Got it wrapped around the apron. Bottom side of the racetrack, steady on the wheel. Ryan Tiller slots into 8th. First of the championship 4 to cross the line. Randy Arms slots into 5th. And Glenn Murphy Jr. 30.46 puts it on pole.
Very comfortably, too.
Ryan Tiller crosses the line for his second and final lap. What can the 23 machine do? He'll go 5th quickest. How about Randy Arms through 3 and 4? Michael Davis slots into 2nd. Quickest in practice. Oh, he's fighting that car loose. Through turn number 4, he'll cross the line. P3. Here comes Jonathan Schwartz. 2 minutes remaining, and he heads out onto the pits. Last of the championship 4. All 4 of these drivers so deserving, put in the time, the work, the effort. Very consistent. Stays out of trouble. They limit the mistakes, and they wind up here at Charlotte with a chance for a championship. 58 sporting a new paint scheme this week as well.
Cleaning authority.
They look to clean up the competition, that's for sure.
It's a shock we don't have sponsors yet.
Who wouldn't love that head, right? Down the back straightaway for the first time. Jared Lindsay as well. Through 3 and 4. 2-time winner this season in limited starts. Last season's champion. Crosses the line, goes 13th on his first lap. Jonathan Schwartz. His first flying lap. He'll slot into 14th. But this is the money lap here. Second and final lap through 1 and 2. Gets it wrapped up pretty well, nicely on the bottom side of the racetrack. Ends it up naturally down the back straightaway for the final time. On board going into turn number 3. See, green for Jared Lindsay, green for Jonathan Schwartz. Not a personal best. Going to be hard to beat Glenn Murphy Jr. Going to need a special turn number 4 to get it into the line. Jonathan Schwartz in the 58 will go 9th quickest.
You would have to imagine if Jared Lindsay was able to make all races and become a playoff contender, he would be your championship favorite.
Absolutely. He's put in a blistering pace over the last
What
several weeks.
are you doing there with the volume bar, sir?
My headphones are breaking. That's fun. Gotta put a tack underneath the increased volume there. But nevertheless, Glenn Murphy Jr. on track. For pole here, Jackson Carr and Adam Kildare unable to finish their laps in time. But it is the 48 of Glenn Murphy Jr. throwing the first shot across the bow with pole here this evening. The arms are so good over the course of the long runs. Ryan Tiller, Jonathan Schwartz. You know, they like their alternate strategies. You see the names highlighted in purple. Is your championship 4. This field of
you think we're ready to make
some
picks to win, though?
Some picks to win in the championship 4. I'm going to dig really deep in the bottom of the barrel.
Oh, definitely real deep. I feel like I know where this is going.
Give me Glenn Murphy Jr. from pole in the championship finale.
As much as I want to go with my man Randy Arms to win the championship, I kind of want to pick Randy Arms, but to win the race, I think I'm going to go with the hot hand of Jared Lindsay.
Get some dual burnouts going on at the end of this thing. That'd be pretty nice.
Oh, yeah.
I would not be opposed to that whatsoever.
I think some drivers might be. Some drivers definitely like to win the race and the championship.
But 19 drivers here waiting on Randy Arms and Travis DeLeon to grid up. We will be underway here this evening for 200 laps. Get a quick look at your championship standings as they came into tonight's race. Corey Blevins losing out to Glenn Murphy Jr. on the benefit of the wild cards. So Randy Arms, Schwartz, Tiller, and Glenn Murphy Jr., your top 4 racing for the championship. Still plenty to race for throughout this field.
Money Shift Racing saying he picks the 58, Jonathan Schwartz. It is
drivers that have gridded up this season and have completed. All the way down to Jay Smart. 7 points.
If there was a driver who can make a funky strategy call to potentially, go up there and get it, Schwartz has been the guy, and we do have 200 laps.
5 sets of tires, 1 on the car, 4 in the pits. 40-lap fuel run. It's going to stretch the limit of these guys. Endurance is going to be important, minimizing the mistakes as the long run continues. Minimal cautions here. Jackson Carr making a return to the track this evening. Glad to see him back in action. Joseph Murata as well.
It's nice to have as many drivers as we can for the finale.
Clearly not a better place to do it than the hometown of NASCAR, Charlotte, North Carolina. Headquarters of so many iconic teams.
When's that going to be our headquarters?
Soon.
Soon.
That's correct. Pace car is off. Glenn Murphy Jr. field in hand will look to secure the championship, but first he's got to get through 200 laps, and we are green here this evening. Would be clear side by side for second. Michael Davis and into turn number 1.
That inside line just had a better start. Not much they can really do about that. Jared Lindsay to P2.
He's already up 3 spots in his return to action. He's looking to get racing right off the get-go. Ryan Tiller down 2 spots, just about surviving the first lap. We saw he was unable to do that last week at Homestead, Miami. Cars on the wall throughout the front stretch. That might have been Casey Brown. I believe it. Travis DeLeon further back as cars are squirming around trying to find grip. Early going, but Glenn Murphy Jr. has settled out. About a 2-car length lead over Jared Lindsay. Got Michael Davis on the initial start. Randy Arms slotted into 4th.
Now those top 6 single file, but back here fighting for 7th. Little gaggle of cars.
Those being Jonathan Schwartz and the other Ryan Tiller right here in this hornet's nest, right at the tail end of the top 10. Cars squirming around. Jackson Carr way up the hill. Lap number 3. Schwartz going to want to get clear of this as quickly as possible. We saw last week Corey Blevins in the 13 had a great chance to point in 3 wide into turn number 4. Casey Brown, the meat and the sandwich, is Jackson Carr.
Ooh, he is real loose.
All over the place trying to get around that 88. He will complete the pass.
Way to hang on to a young fella.
Like we saw last week, Corey Blevins had a great shot to point in and upset the championship 4 we have here this evening. But Cole Tyler's on turn 1, lap 1, caught him out. And he's racing for nothing other than a win here this evening, not championship eligible. He's putting one of our championship contenders under threat right now, and that is Jonathan Schwartz. Up at the front, we got a battle for the race lead. Jared Lindsay inside of Glenn Murphy Jr. We've said it a couple of times. If Jared Lindsay was running full time this year, he definitely would be locked into the playoffs, and this would be the battle for what could be a championship here, but obviously making part-time starts. He's come on in the last handful of races, won back-to-back. Looking to win his 3rd race of the season here tonight.
I wouldn't necessarily count out Randy Arms. He's right there.
Just biding his time. We know he takes care of his tires over the long run, as does Glenn Murphy Jr. So right now, 6 laps in. Very early to call it, obviously, but these are favorite 2 if you were a betting man.
And if I'm Randy Arms, I'm really rooting for Jared to get up there and fight Glenn Murphy. Make him use his stuff.
Well. Yeah, just kind of, he's sitting in the draft trying to conserve, maybe save, get to that lap 50 point. Yolanta has to save 8 laps. The purple highlights on the top of the ticker are the Championship 4 that are racing for the title this evening. Let them identify themselves a bit easier. Everyone will know where they're running.
Big production value here in YG. We got color-coded playoff drivers, all right?
Glenn Murphy Jr. first, Randy Arms 4th, Jonathan Schwartz 10th, and Ryan Tiller 11th. Interestingly enough, we pretty much have 2 packs of cars. All the way back down to the top 6. Jonathan Mazzella hanging on. He's 1 second back of the race lead, and then 2.5 seconds back to Jackson Carr. Everybody else very early into this race. Are we still trying to get through? I think it's possible. I don't think we had a definitive one yesterday. Tony Scarrow, he's bringing the fresh paint to the track. 29 machine looking very good. Single file thus far, but it's not for a lack of trying. These cars are just so similar on speed. Top 6 very similar. And then 7th on back, very similar. Jackson Carr trying to pull away. They are right up on each other. A simple mistake will lead to a loss of position. Jackson Carr at his return to on-track action up 9 spots. Get the early going. Randy Arms also racing for a championship in the Monday Night League, the ARS, so it's good to get this championship experience out of the way. Hold your nerve. Under pressure right now. No reason to push the issue. Only 11 laps in. You got the title contender 8 car lengths ahead of you.
Randy, I believe, actually races in IRL, so I'd hope he has his nerves in check for virtual racing.
The composure. We've seen him all season long. Been calm, cool, collected under pressure. Even when he makes mistakes, he usually is able to fight back from them pretty well. Not that he makes a lot of mistakes. That's why he's in the championship for it. 200 laps, plenty of time to make your move, plenty of time to make a mistake and recover from a mistake. The possibilities for tonight's race, well and truly, are just innumerable.
Reports of a camper on fire in the infield.
Having a good time. Here for the championship 200, and as are we, and as are these drivers right now. Glenn Murphy Jr. got to be feeling pretty good, especially holding off Jared Lindsay behind. The first 13 laps has led every single one of them.
Not exactly sure how much racing there will, be going on. 200 laps. You want to save your stuff. There's no reason to potentially run that hard and, wreck yourself out of the race. We saw it last week. Corey Blevins, he had it all to fight for. Lap 1, and it was over.
There goes Ryan Tiller back into the top 10. Here comes Joseph Murata inside of Samuel Demien. Everyone fighting back on the high side.
Although I talked about, potentially trying to, settle. Randy Arms goes up and takes 3rd.
Take a quick look at how he did it getting around Davis here for P3. Runs high out of turn number 4. P7 gets a little loose in the trial. That's allowing Nathaniel Landwehr to come right along through as well. Taking advantage of others' mistakes will be very important now. He's got one car separating him and Glenn Murphy Jr. on board in the cockpit, and there's nothing better that you can see than your championship rival directly ahead of you. Gives you all the encouragement you need. You can see him on track. You can see him getting smaller and smaller out your front windshield. Gap is 7 car lengths here as they come to complete lap number 15. He's hoping Jared Lindsay gets up there and starts battling away for the race lead. Gap is under 2 car lengths. Off of turn number 4. Right in the tire tracks of the 48. Might be able to wrap the bottom just a little bit better than Glenn at this early stage of the race. Schwartz on the move. He's up to 8th, trying to track down Jackson Carr. He's under pressure from 11s as well. Back Chris Pindard, Samuel Demien, Travis DeLeon. All battling away, trying to crack the top 15. Just ahead of them, Casey Brown and Tony Scarbo going at each other. That is all over the racetrack, 17 laps in. Those side by side. 88, 29 has the slight edge into turn number 3. 88 trying to fight it back on the outside, but Scarbo will come up, slide job in front. Joseph Murata right into this battle. Gap out front, still a car length and a half. Still the top 5 running second and a half separating them.
Mostly single file throughout. Even the back has started to calm down a little bit.
They're just trying to conserve their stuff. And as we say that, Joseph Murat a little loose. Samuel Demian might have gotten a little bit of contact there. They're taking the air off the back of that 5 machine. Good, decent save there. Got a little hairy there. 14th position. Doesn't look like any damage to either of those cars. So the 5 machine just had the air taken out. Got a little bit loose condition there. Kilday and Chris Pinder going at it here for 17. 19 cars still on the lead lap, still running. Randy Arms so consistent, just right at that 7/10 of a second. Glenn Murphy Jr. unable to pull away. It just shows you how consistent they've been all season long. They said it a bunch of times. Whoever usually gets out front, track position is key. Hard to pass each other when they're so similarly paced. It's going to be important, especially when we get out of the second stage here, past lap 50. Get on and off the dirt as good as you can, minimize those mistakes. Because that could be the difference, 1/10 of a second on your in laps, 1/10 of a second spent in the pits. It's important to not overdo the limit of the speed. Ryan Tiller up another position. Get around Corey Blevin, just a lap ago. Blevins fighting in the back, though. Let's take a look at what's happened down into turn number 1. Great run on turn number 4 and down the front stretch. For him, up into 9th. So your championship 4 all in the top 9.
Almost bump drafting down the front stretch there between Taylor and Blevins. Just trying to move forward.
For a long way, you're not even halfway. You are one and only stage here tonight at 50. Caution flag will fly and will bunch everybody back up. So really, you don't have anything to worry about so long as you keep the car in one piece. Randy Arms, you're a second back from Glenn Murphy. No worries. Shorts, we know, has had some great long run speed. No reason to push the issue just now. You're 4.5 seconds back. Ryan Tiller trying to track him down as well. 6 seconds back to get a pop back up at lap 50, but you have to get to lap 50 as Corey Blevins gets put in the wall. Had a great run on the back, and Ryan Tiller ran out of real estate there.
That's potentially going to lose him the spot to Eric Shields.
Gotta have the car in one piece to even get hot back up.
Like, not being in the championship 4, you still want to put on a good run here at the end.
Really takes him in the next season. Eric Shields experiencing the joys of online connectivity. Looking like a Christmas light. Really fighting back on that high side.
I was going to jokingly say, if your Christmas lights are blinking, you probably don't have them plugged in right, but I forget you come from the nicer neighborhoods that have really nice lights. You know, put on shows, right? Mr. Gated Community.
Randy Arms under pressure here from Nathaniel Landwehr. He got to the halfway point in stage 1. The car link separating the 66 and the 8. Obviously, Speed Zone Esports, the dominant team all season long. Team with drivers, they consistently show up and show out. So obviously, Glenn Murphy Jr., though, a Speed Zone Esports driver as well.
I'm going to say championship 4 is all Speed Zone, brother.
Absolutely.
These top 2 have really started to check out.
That's almost contact between the 25 of Jackson Carr and the 58 of Jonathan Schwartz.
Yeah, these front two. Glenn Murphy, 4/10 over Jared Lindsay. Jared Lindsay, a half a second on Randy Arms.
So Shorts continues his charge to the field. He's up 3 spots. Jackson Carr, he's still up 8, so an amazing run for this 25 machine. They try and track down the 41 of Ethan Mazzella. Just a second up the road. Yeah, interesting the dynamic here between the speed zone drivers, especially considering they're guaranteed a championship. What is the 66 machine? What's the mentality trying to pass your teammate who's fighting your other teammate for a championship? How does that work out?
No, this is where you pull a Ford versus Ferrari. Have them tie.
Or way across the line. Whoever started further back is gifted the title.
Honestly, the worst.
Yeah, that bothered me severely after the conclusion of that movie. How about Corey Blevins and Eric Shields? They're still going at it.
I like how you say conclusion of the movie as though it wasn't a real life event that actually happened to somebody.
Right.
But I mean, we did only find out about the movie because of the movie.
Right.
Ken Miles is my hero.
The one machine finally completes the pass and will now look to drive away from Corey Blevins. Glenn Murphy Jr. is starting to stretch his legs ever so slightly. Yeah, now up to 0.6 of a second. He is starting to fall back towards Randy Arms. Gap there is 3 car lengths. Daniel Landwehr putting immense pressure on Randy Arms. Thought about a move down into turn number 3. Falls back into line. Out 4 separated by less than a second. Michael Davis still on the hunt there. 1.3 seconds back in 5th. Next up, Corey Blevins trying to defend is the 29 of Tony Scarbo. There's your top 5. You can see really all the way back to Jackson Carr. Shot. Someone got a piece of the wall there down the back straightaway. You see, it looks like the 8's able to wrap the bottom just a little bit better than the 18, and the 66 able to wrap the bottom as well. Very nice, but here comes Randy Arms down the front stretch. Takes a half peak, falls back into line.
Yeah, 30 laps into his run, it really seems like Randy just saved a little more.
Closing in on Jared Lindsay and Glenn Murphy Jr. That's helping.
Just slowly reeling them back in.
Jared Lindsay slowly reeling back in. Glenn Murphy Jr., the ebbs and flows of this race, apparent only 33 laps in. Board here with Jared Lindsay. You see Wayne Ruprecht up there in 19th in danger of going a lap down. He should be the only car a lap down by the time we get to the stage. And how about this? Tony Scarbo going to come in to be the first man to pull the trigger. Chris Pinder rides in the 17th position, down 3 spots from where he started. Car is in one piece for the season this turn. This will be important to note here, though. 38 to 42 laps is what we were told by the Speed Zone guys pre-race. We are coming up quickly on that, so we'll see here what the strategy is. Going to try and get the track position for stage, put a couple extra laps on your tires. Go as long as possible to get the fresher tires towards the end. You're going to have some laps on those tires before the stage. Ooh.
I think we could definitely see Randy Arms come in early. Try and get on that set a little sooner, run a couple faster laps, and then just start saving.
See, go by the lap 71 of Wayne Ruprecht. Respectful, staying out of the way of the leaders. That's something that drivers will have to navigate as well. Joseph Murata in. These guys trying to come in a couple laps before their direct competitors. Randy Arms under pressure. Oh, the 71, there's going to be contact. There's Michael Davis spinning in the background. Can he save it? He keeps it off the wall somehow, but the right rear of that car is destroyed. Here comes the 41, the 58, and a whole host of others. Let's take another look at how that happened. That was a wild one.
Ooh. It looks like Wayne just gets loose out of 2.
And he got the worst of that. And he is okay. That's
that was a weird one.
Yeah, but he's gonna get the worst of it. He'll come into pit. Corey Blevins makes it to pit road. What a save, though, from the 57. The worst damage he got is when he got clipped there. He avoided disaster. How about this? Glenn Murphy Jr. shutting the car off. Let's go on board with him here. Randy Arms is in, as is Ryan Tiller. So the championship 4. Randy and Ryan blink first. Let's go on board here with the 48. He had saved into turn number 1. Not there.
I wonder what these calls would be in the voice chat. They are all teammates, but they're all trying to make strategy on each other.
Obviously want to beat your teammates, so obviously you're going to have to develop an independent strategy. Randy Arms, though, 6.8 seconds. That's just a fuel-only stop to get to the stage. He's trying to save a set of tires. Travis De Leon, 13 seconds, though. A little bit different call here. Ryan Tiller as well, 7.8 seconds. So fuel-only, it looks like. So no one's doing the ultra-aggressive strategy. Trying to save those sets of tires for as long as they can. Jonathan Mazzella and Jackson Carrin racing all the way down the pit lane, it seems. No one looks to have any issues so far. Casey Brown leaving for his stop in the first stage. Let's see if anyone in this top 8 elects to come in. Looks like Glenn Murphy Jr. Well, a little bit loose there. Jared Lindsay, very aggressive on pit entry as well. He's got nothing to lose. He can push it as hard as he wants. That'll leave Nathaniel Landwehr out on track, right at the edge of our fuel window here. Michael Davis makes his way down pit road.
I'm just saying, this could be a big decision between Jared and Glenn Murphy Jr. They are on each other. Jared was able to close up a whole lot into pit road.
How aggressive do you want to be? Looks like, oh, right side tires
You'll
going
in?
on for the 48. And there goes Jared Lindsay. So he's going to do a little bit different than everybody
Left sides
else.
too.
4 tire stop here for the 48. That seems to be a little bit counterintuitive to what everyone else is doing. A little bit.
Ooh, Eric Shields getting loose trying to get into pit road.
Nathaniel Landwehr is in. Jonathan Schwartz is as well. And here comes Samuel Benyin. Glenn Murphy Jr. He's out. He'll have the freshest tires.
That is a strategy call.
Randy Arms will get the benefit of the track position. He is now leading your championship 4 as we come to lap 42 here. Shields and Jonathan Schwartz on pit road. The man yet to pit is Samuel Benyin, and here he comes in the 21 machine. Making turn number 4. Daniel Landwehr gave it his best shot, but Jared Lindsay will take control of the race. Randy Arms 0.4 of a second back. Glenn Murphy Jr. is 5 seconds back, but on fresh rubber.
I think he has a good chance to get up there and get to him.
7 laps to go. I would have thought you want to save a set here, 200 laps, but not the case here for the 48 machine. So that'll be very interesting to see how that comes.
I don't think stage points do anything for you.
No, it's just whoever wins it.
Could you imagine stage points play a factor? It would be the worst.
It would. Eric Shields is back in. Glenn Murphy Jr. is the quickest man on the racetrack by far. But he's hoping that the fall off is negligible.
He is 2 seconds faster.
Yeah. So
Oh,
but he's going to have roughly 10 or so odd laps on his tires compared to the rest of the field. Here he comes, though. He's going to win this stage handedly. Just got to find a way around. The 2 wide in front of him, which is not what he wants. So he's going to have to work a little bit harder here to get through. This is all teammates, by the way. 48 is completely boxed in.
I would be livid. He obviously has the tires. He'll be able to go get on there, just making it last just that little bit longer.
Landwehr made look at the send there. He's clear. Is 4/10 of a second behind Jared Lindsay, and I imagine once he gets around him, it's going to be save as much as you can. Save. Got to get those 10 laps back somehow. That'll leave no contest. Your championship 4 all in the top 8, so they're able to pick up some spots there. Now, if you're Glenn Murphy Jr., you can put it on lap number 40. Stage break is at 50. You're going to have 10 lap older tires here. Now, I imagine you just want to save as much as you possibly can. You are maybe the quickest car on the racetrack by far here these last handful of laps before the stage.
Yeah, it seems like he's really started to somewhat slow up his time. Definitely doesn't seem like he's using too much gas through these corners.
On board. He's still pulling away, though. The tires are going to be fresher regardless.
He's still a second and a half faster, but...
There's Pinder in danger of going a lap down, but... he should get
the Pinder Man. There's a nickname. Just call him the Pinder Man.
Wayne Ruprecht is out of the race after his incident. Eric Shields lap down with Chris Pinder.
Yeah, that's definitely just one of them incidents where you just pull off and you feel bad. That's just a racing deal.
Michael Davis, he's still going though. Obviously going to come down and fix the rest of his damage. 57 under the stage break. Conditions. But Glenn Murphy Jr. is 6 seconds ahead of his direct competitors. Jackson Carr in the mix here as well. He took tires as well, and he's flying up. Going to get around Nathaniel Landwehr and Jared Lindsay. Jackson Carr with the strategy call as well. Put him up to P2. It's 6.5 seconds separating Glenn Murphy Jr. from the field. Daniel Landwehr able to drive. Jared Lindsay, these guys. Fourth and third as the caution flies, and Glenn Murphy Jr. is your stage winner. Jackson Carr up 14 spots to second.
I don't know why anyone's saving anything. I'm not a race strategist. That's why we have Corbin. He just... he doesn't do his job. He asks for money, then doesn't do anything.
48
it's the Corbin
here.
way.
Started on pole, led the most laps in the first stage, and gets the win here. Now the field's caught back up. Your championship 4, all in the top 8.
You don't do anything in a run car.
You have done nothing to contribute. We expect to see everybody coming back down. Nobody trying to get cute here, but we expect this will be a fuel-only stop for the 48 and the 25. We've been wrong before, though.
Yes, everyone knew there was going to be a stage caution. It's been that way the end. You should show up for more races.
Yep, but there goes the 48. There goes Jackson Carr. So, like we said, they're on their alternate strategy. The rest of the field, Daniel Landwehr wins the race off pit road with 4 tires. Jared Lindsay, Randy Arms, second of your championship 4. Then Schwartz, Ryan Tiller, Tony Scarebone. While we resort the running order here, let's go ahead and get a quick word in from tonight's amazing sponsors that have allowed the LSRL to put on all this great on-track action this season. Massive shout out to Grid Finder, Butt Kicker, Sim Racer Hub, Sim 3D, Wilder Graphics, and Sim Speed Shop for helping the LSRL put on all this amazing action week after week, season after season. Grid Finder as well. What happened to Jackson Carr? Looks like he has dropped. All that was underway.
Yeah, he made the conscious decision to pull off and end his race early.
All right.
I didn't hear the entire reasoning behind it, but I heard him say goodbye.
Alrighty then.
So it's going to be Glenn Murphy Jr. up here fighting by himself, the only one on old tires. At least in the front.
Came down for fuel on that 51. Everyone took tires except for Glenn Murphy Jr. He'll have 10 lap older tires than the rest of his direct competitors. So I'm not sure what the point of that is, but obviously he's in control. They all have 3 sets remaining.
Planning your strategies here in LSRL around a late race caution sounds like a bad idea.
But Jackson Carr
is there another stage caution?
No, there is not. There's only one and only stage caution each and every week here. That 50 was the one here. So I'm not sure the strategy from Glenn Murphy Jr. It basically, you don't save a set, and you give yourself a 10-lap disadvantage. We will see.
Oh, and a big jump.
We are back underway. Travis De Leon did not get underway well. But at this point, though, Glenn, even if I think you have a slight disadvantage, you don't have to worry about winning the race. You have to beat Randy Arms and Jonathan Schwartz and Ryan Tiller, the top 4, all in the top 6. Zella. Inside of Travis De Leon. Adam Kilday up here in the top 10 as well. So definitely mixed up the running order there just a bit. We'll see how long he can manage this 10-lap difference on tires. The longer he's able to do it, obviously, the more it'll end up working out for him.
Honestly, if he can just keep his car up front, you know, make the cars ride behind him, get in his wake, be in the dirty air. Just make it difficult.
Around that 10th position that we saw earlier in the race, Michael Davis sliding up the racetrack. Joseph Murata going around the high side, as is Travis De Leon. Kilday's up 11 spots.
Very tight racing between Joseph Murata and Michael Davis back here. Almost touching down the back part, down the front stretch.
Randy Arms is the one to watch here. He's actually under pressure from Jonathan Schwartz. So really, it's a moot point, 4th and 5th. Both fighting for the championship. They are 0.8 of a second behind Glenn Murphy Jr. Now he's starting to get reeled in by 2nd and 3rd, Jared Lindsay and Nathaniel Landwehr. To work lap number 58. Even if you finish 3rd here, you beat your championship rival, you walk away with the title. I'm sure he'd want to win the race. Right now on the older tires, it's about survival. Here comes Jared Lindsay to the outside. Battle for the lead. Contact almost made between the 48 and the 18. Here comes the 66 as well. And that 48 at a distinct disadvantage on the older tires. Jared Lindsay through to the lead for the first time this evening.
Lindsay was doing a good job pinching him down there. Almost more contact between the 48 and Landwehr.
Here comes Randy Arms. This will be the first time Randy will be out front for your championship 4. Ryan Tiller trying to get in the mix as well. 3, 4, 5, and 6 is your championship 4. To the inside. Here comes Randy Arms. Lap number 60. Still a long way to go. But here is the battle for the championship at the moment. The 58 of Jonathan Schwartz trying to find a way through as well.
I think he's going to be pushing him down the backstretch.
They have the run off the high side, but those 48 on the older tires. The Arms are trying to go the shortest way around the racetrack. All three of these guys definitely using their stuff up here. Ryan Tiller is loving what he's seeing out of the cockpit of the 23 machine. Know they're all teammates. Know they race each other with respect, but they race each other hard. Just got to be aware of that. Keep the mistakes to a minimum. Don't have to race with a bunch of modifieds. Gonna settle it on track after 200 laps, but here comes Randy Arms. He's now clear, and he leads your championship forward here. We complete lap number 61. Jonathan Schwartz has now moved inside. Put him up to fourth, and he's going to try and follow the 8 machine right through.
I just can't wait to. Because I can't wait to see how this strategy plays out for the 48. Getting himself off cycle. But Taylor should not be far away from getting around the 48 of Glenn Murphy Jr.
10 lap pressure tires, and now that he's lost that clean air that he had, he's definitely
Schwartz going for Randy Arms.
Schwartz is going to have it. Now Schwartz leads the championship for. So we've seen leads from Jonathan Schwartz, Randy Arms, and Glenn Murphy Jr. And now Ryan Tiller working his way up, trying to get around the 48 of Glenn Murphy Jr. Looking to the inside, that 48 definitely sliding up the racetrack. And here comes the 23. Bringing the 41 of Jonathan Mazzella with him as well. I'm not sure I understand the call there from the 48 crew. So fast all season long, didn't have to be aggressive. Just dominated the opening portion of this race. And he sits 4th out of 4 out of your championship contenders. He's still fighting away hard with Ryan Tiller. 23. Taco Bell scheme will find the way through. Oh, and that's going to be contact between the 41 and the 48. Left rear damage for the 48. Again, those are teammates as well. Racing each other
doesn't look like it's that bad. I don't think there's much damage on that car, but definitely a scary moment for the 48.
48 now finds himself 1.8 seconds behind Jonathan Schwartz, who's up 7 spots and has come alive after the stage break.
They're closing in on the leaders.
This championship race has been thrown wide open. Ryan Tiller trying to close in as well. I spent a couple laps battling away with Glenn Murphy Jr.
Someone said in the chat that Pinder only talks a good game. I didn't even realize Pinder talked a good game. I don't remember Pinder ever being like, oh yeah, I'm going to be a winner. Pinder's just like, I'm here to have fun. I'm here to get biggest mover.
Murata currently holds that prize, tied with Jonathan Schwartz. They're both up 7 spots. Lap number 67 here. Nathaniel Landwehr keeping the pressure on Jared Lindsay. Michael Davis has worked his way back in the top 10 after early contact with Wayne Ruprecht, the 71, who's out of the race. Corey Blevins has worked his way back after getting put in the wall, trying to make a pass on Ryan Tiller. Ran out of real estate off of turn 2 early in the race. Daniel Demien trying to put Casey Brown under pressure for 13th.
The Taco Bell scheme is a little cursed.
Ryan Tiller actually gets passed by the 41 machine of Jonathan Mazzella. He's still 1.8 seconds behind, so he didn't really lose a whole lot of time. And if anything, he's telling the 41 go up there and go get him. Help me out.
That is an excellent joke. It's Taco Bell. You think it would give good runs.
It looks like he actually might have a little bit of right side damage there on that 23 machine. A little bit of scuff mark there.
Did he potentially get into the wall? Ooh, yeah, there is actually a good amount of damage there.
That dreaded 13.5 seconds down the front stretch. You can see it here. 23 definitely has a little bit of right side damage there. Murphy Jr. has a little bit of left rear damage, and he is still under pressure on those older tires. Davis is up, Corey Blevins is up. And as fast as he's been all season long, you give yourself a 10-lap disadvantage. You have to work that much harder to try and stay ahead. Here is the battle between your top two contenders for the championship now, and it's Jonathan Schwartz and Randy Arms.
Yeah, depending on how that aero damage works out for those two drivers, it's really looking like a two-car race for the championship. Two-car race for the actual race, too.
How hard
But
these
Schwartz
guys
and Arms
want to
are
race,
not
though.
that
Here
far
comes
back.
Randy Arms. He wants the top spot back out of the championship contenders. He's looking to the inside in turn number 3.
Just looking to get out of that dirty air, or as much of dirty air. Force Schwartz up. I was gonna say force Schwartz up to the high side and make him use his stuff to compete.
This pass for third place was presented by Dollar General. It was a funny sponsor sign there in the background. Here, look at this hornet's nest that Glenn Murphy Jr. finds himself in. He needs a caution, but he can't be the caution. And right now, that's looking like a decent possibility with the amount of action going on right behind him. Randy Arms is all over the tire tracks of that 58 machine. Car lengths separating these two drivers. 2 car lengths separating your top 2. Casey Brown gets a run on Chris Pinder. Pinder going to try the crossover. Look at that. Nice little nifty move there from the 24 machine. Tony Scarbo sees 3 wide just in front of him, and it is Glenn Murphy Jr. right in that hornet's nest. And it just shows you the big difference here. 10 laps will make on the tires. This 48 is just trying to survive.
Actually, that 57 has right rear damage.
And that was the contact with the 71. Hits the apron there, slides up. Big damage on that 57 machine.
Isn't Bubba Watson a golfer?
That's correct. I feel like the autocorrect bug might have gotten him there. Travis De Leon on pit road for an extended period of time. He spent 35 seconds in his box already. Potential problems there for the 12 machine. Jared Lindsay not pulling away from Nathaniel Landwehr. Gap is still 0.3 of a second. Gap between third and fourth. Still 1 car length. Randy Arms not able to find a way just yet. But he is definitely putting the pressure on here as Glenn Murphy Jr. now holds the last spot in the top 10. We're going to crank it up here. Lap number 76. Here in your championship 200. Really nothing more beautiful than the sound of race cars at 185 miles an hour.
I got some funny jokes, but I don't think I can say them here.
Fair enough.
When is someone going to invite us out? When we get in YJ Media passes to the pits?
We're a media group.
Let's cover the races live.
Any of y'all got the hookups who are willing to initiate them? And Glenn Murphy Jr. is now out of the top 10, so really that 10-lap difference on tires has him completely out of sorts here. He is 6.5 seconds back out on the shorts.
We know too many people working in the NASCAR industry to not have a hookup to get us on track.
All things considered, we're still not even at halfway, and here comes Glenn Murphy Jr. He's going to be aggressive again on the short pitting strategies, taking tires every 40 laps. So he's kind of committed to this aggressive short pitting strategy. Doesn't have to come in on lap 80. Could have gone to roughly lap 90 or so, 95 maybe. But here comes the 48 machine to kick off the second round of green flag pit stops here. Hey, we've been wrong several times before here. But he just might end up the winner of this thing. He's out and away. 14.9 seconds. Good work by the 48 crew. Down. Now Travis DeLeon was able to make it back out of the pits. He spent 40 seconds fixing some damage. DeLeon still all over the back bumper of the 58. 58 doing a good job holding the serve, being calm, cool, collected, not overdriving the corners. Glenn Murphy Jr. will now be, again, the quickest man on track. He has to avoid all the cars on older tires, take care of his stuff.
I'm really wondering what that's going to do for, like, you know, his late race, like, pace. Because, like, at the rate he's going, his last pit stop's going to be 160. That's going to be 40 laps on that last set of tires, hoping they go green all the way. And, like, he's got a lot of ground to make up from,
he'll
like...
make up the ground, but he'll get run down at the end of the runs again. He's
yeah.
Just hoping that, again, catching the caution at the exact right time. I don't know what the right time would be, though. The caution comes out now, he gets the lucky dollar. Sure, you get caught back up, but again, you have a disadvantage on tires. So it's going to have to happen sometime after these guys come into pit.
Yeah, I'm really starting to see it being an issue that he took tires on that first stop.
Yeah, don't really see a way forward unless he gets a very lucky break when everyone's on tires here. He's going to be able to go to roughly pitted on lap 79, coming to 80, so 120-ish, right around in there.
Like we said, every 40 laps.
So he's going to need a caution to fly. I don't know, 110 maybe? To try and get the rest of the guys to come down with him and take tires. Because he's got to get on the same tire strategy. Corbin Simmons with the trends of the race. Go ahead, Corbin. No way. Michael Davis and Eric Shields are in. Jared Lindsay continues to lead. He's now opened up a second margin on Nathaniel Landwehr. Jonathan Schwartz has pulled out 3 car lengths on Randy Arms as Glenn Murphy Jr. continues to be around 2 seconds and change quicker. But I think being so aggressive necessarily isn't a bad thing, but he kind of just got unlucky with the way the stage caution fell. Lap 50, everyone will just hold on. You know, they're willing to give away those stage points in the championship for. Going green the rest of the way is going to be roughly a 10-lap disadvantage on tires the rest of the way.
And he is the fastest car on track by a second, like 1.2 seconds.
Oh, he's going to come out comfortably ahead of everybody. He'll be leading the championship for. There's a very good chance he'll be leading the race as well. And he'll just get caught back down again.
I have to, like, I don't know. Because on that final stint, like, if we go green the entire way from here on out, he comes down on 160, undercuts everybody. If he takes that set of tires, I think we'll see it here. This will be the prototype run. I think it only really went bad for him because we had the caution immediately followed by it,
Here's
so
what
he
I'm
just
thinking,
dropped.
though, right? He lost roughly 8 seconds, so he has to make up the 8 seconds, which he'll do here, and then he'll come out some distance ahead, then get run down, passed again, and then every time he pits, he has to make up that margin, so the margin just keeps getting further and further against him.
I think this just gives him a chance to get those drivers on old tires as well. Like, see how far into it that he can get them to, you know, burn their stuff up, make it a little more even. Because him going from old tires versus guys on new tires is not as fair as them having to catch him on new tires and then trying to run away. So the distance technically gets a little bit smaller every time.
But we'll see that when everyone decides to come in and pit, this will be very important. If he has a huge margin, yeah, he could end up coming and cycling through here pretty well. Ryan Tiller, this will be the first of the championship 4 he's going to have to get back by. We'll see what he can do. I see what you're saying. If he ends up coming out so far ahead, guys burn their stuff, and he comes in and pits again, well, then it's game on.
Yep.
Here comes Glenn Murphy Jr. out of turn number 4. He's going to unlap himself on
Ooh,
shorts.
Nathaniel Landwehr.
Tiller's still in the pits with that right side damage. There goes Glenn Murphy Jr., and he's comfortably clear of the 23 at least. And he's still, again, making up more and more time. Here comes Randy Arms. This is going to be the important one, as he was battling away with Schwartz. Glenn Murphy Jr. down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Randy Arms. Let's get you an actual angle of where he's at. Right side's going on. Daniel Landwehr as well. Left side's going on, and here comes Glenn Murphy Jr. down the front stretch. Nathaniel Landwehr is out, and Glenn Murphy Jr. is comfortably clear again. We'll see what the final margin ends up being. Again, it's a 10-lap difference on tires, roughly. Lap 79 coming to 80. And now, 91 coming to 92 for Randy Arms, and the gap is 9.5 seconds. And this 8 machine's going to have to make up for Glenn's next pit stop in roughly 25 or so laps.
And he'll make it up, but he's going to burn his stuff up, and then in comes Glenn.
It's going to be a very aggressive strategy here.
I think his strategy would have worked better if he came in on 50,
and Randy
got
Arms
the tires.
comes in a lap ahead of Jonathan Schwartz, and he'll take that place back as well. Glenn Murphy Jr. over Randy Arms. It is 9.2 seconds. Last lap for Glenn Murphy Jr., a 31.6. This is Randy's first lap on the new tires.
30.9.
I mean, obviously he's going to gain. Glenn just has to try and stay as far ahead as he possibly can. It was roughly, I believe, it was 7.5 seconds or so back when he came into pit. So really, he's got more play in it than the actual 8 seconds right now, because he can afford to go back behind Randy and still come out ahead with the undercut. He doesn't have to beat Nathaniel Landwehr. He doesn't have to beat Jared Lindsay. He just has to beat Randy Arms, Jonathan Schwartz, and Ryan Tiller.
Like, all our speculation, I really think Glenn had the call. I think he should have executed it on lap 50 and then come down in 40 laps after to continue his strategy, because then he would have been on the same, he would have had the same speed with him. He wouldn't have lost all that time.
But this run right here is going to be crucial to see how long he can stay ahead. He's basically committed to coming in before his championship rivals. He has to stay ahead as long as he can and keep in touch with his competitors. He's got the clean air, all the clean air in the world that he wants. Same with Demien. Final man coming back in. Randy Arms, if he's battling away with Jared Lindsay and Michael Davis behind, it's going to slow up his progress in the dirty air as well.
We don't know how hard Glenn Murphy Jr. is really going. He could be, put a little save in it so that he could fight a little bit harder when they get to him.
Absolutely. Got 20-ish laps till his pit stop. And he's got 6 seconds to Randy Arms, 7 seconds to Jonathan Schwartz. That is the battle for the championship right now. Ryan Tiller's been a little bit longer on pit road than he would have wanted. He is 10 seconds back from Arms. He can definitely play his way into this. He just got to go for broke here on this run, keep these guys behind him as long as he possibly can. They are going to catch him. They are going to get around him. We can't lose too much time. He's got to make the undercut worth it and get back in front. Again, if a caution comes out in 10 laps anyways, I think he's back on the same strategy regardless. So now we're kind of in this midway point where if a caution came out, he's definitely going to come in and pit for tires. Obviously, Nathaniel Landwehr and the rest of these guys came in on lap 90, so it's a little bit too early for them. So if a caution were to fly, you guys have a tough decision to make here. Again, just 3.5 seconds back to Randy Arms coming to lap 100 here. He can stay within that undercut margin. That last stint would be flat out for all of the championship contenders. They try and catch up, and as he try and holds on.
That time behind Nathaniel Landwehr, second faster. He's on his bumper. He's just going to have to let him on through.
And Randy Arms 9/10 quicker. Half seconds back and closing rapidly. I think the strategy might work a little better if it was 5 or so laps, maybe not 10, because they catch you back so much at the end of the runs, and he has to hold on to lap 120 because the way that the fuel runs working. Go down to 30, still leading your championship 4, though. You can see Randy Arms 1.3 back and closing. Schwartz another half a second behind him. We'll see what he ends up being here. 18 laps till his pit stop. He's going to get passed by Randy. And it's kind of a matter of how far back does he lose. If he ends up more than 8 or so seconds, it's a net loss over the course of a full run. We'll see here. I'd say now, it's obviously a teammate. They're on fresher tires. But I'd say if you could just give a lap or two of blocking them.
Although he's running at a high side, there's not a lot of blocking going on.
And Randy Arms is through 103, and they'll try and set sail, knowing that the short pit strategy is coming again from this 48 machine. Now he's just got to get on his horse and try and stay with these guys as best as he can. Randy Arms back to the point where leading the championship 4.
I think the best thing... Right now, the best thing Glenn Murphy can do is...
Oh, and he's
smacked
the outside wall.
Oh,
Huge
as I'm talking.
Damage to the side of that 48, and that might be all she wrote for Glenn.
Yeah, that car is not up to speed. I was going to say he needs to try and minimize the time that he loses on the long run. Because that's where, he lost everything on the restart. They were even with him. During this, that car's not turning.
He's down to the 41.
Oh, he's bringing it in.
And
he's either retiring or fixing the damage.
This is not what he needed. He's going to be completely off sequence here. 105 to go.
I would not be shocked to see this be a retiring pit stop. That is heartbreaking. Fighting that hard. Potentially running a different strategy and just
fighting. Tonight looks so good, and just the wrong strategy call potentially. But right side tires going on the 48. He's going to give it everything he's got. I don't know how much more fight he can have in him. Jonathan Schwartz now gets back by the 8 of Randy Arms. These guys are going hard at it.
Yeah, Glenn Murphy Jr. manually disconnected.
You hate to see it.
Hate to see it.
I really think, unfortunately, I think that's just the wrong strategy call. Kind of got him on the back foot. Trying to push the car. I think he had the pace to win here. He was comfortably ahead those first 40 laps.
Yeah, I think he had a really good shot if he, potentially stayed out.
It was 10 laps to that stage. Maybe he just assumed everyone was going to take tires and not worry about it, take fuel on. I don't know about this battle for the race lead, though. Jared Lindsay getting around Nathaniel Landwehr. The back straightaway. I guess that's what he had to have thought there, that, well, I'm going to come in on lap 40, take a set, and we'll just kind of, everyone's going to do the same thing as me, and we'll come down lap 50, take fuel, and get back at it. But that is not the case. That leaves us with Wayne Ruprecht, Jackson Carr, and Glenn Murphy Jr. out of the race. Samuel Demien just went a lap down. Travis A. Leon a couple of laps down.
There's a spot for Travis.
Here is your championship fight, though. Randy Arms, we're past halfway now in the final race of the season. All downhill from here. The gap is 1 car length. Ryan Tiller 15 seconds back from this battle. Not currently a factor in the championship fight. This is the battle for the championship right here. The 58 and the 8. The nose to tail. It's the second round of green flag pit stops. You see come home tonight, 17. We're starting from the pole.
I'm just saying, if these two drivers get a little too aggressive, start fighting, maybe getting a little damage. You wouldn't want that out of teammates, but Ryan Tiller could get it if they wreck each other.
There's still a long way to go. Still at least one more pit stop left for these guys. Actually, 2. You speed on pit road trying to, if you're Randy Arms and you try and gain a 10th on your pit stop on pit entry and you speed, that puts you out of it. Jonathan Schwartz tries to defend on pit entry. You speed, you're out of it. If they both speed, then Ryan Tiller has a gift here. He's something in ninth. He's on the lead lap comfortably. I just hate it for Glenn. Jared Lindsay looking for his 3rd win of the season.
He is my pick to win the race. Randy Arm, my pick to win the championship. Not looking great right this second. Got 1 call right so far.
But he's looking to go 3 in a row and play an alternate playoff spoiler. 1 at Pocono, 1 at Homestead. And now looking to win the championship race at Charlotte.
Might just crown him the unofficial champion. Make some drivers real unhappy.
Yeah, how about this, though? Michigan, the 41, Jonathan Mazzella, won on a fantastic tire strategy call. Glenn Murphy Jr. wins at Richmond. Be expected. Playoff driver dominating that race. Talladega, Michael Jeans in the 08 machine wins a thriller there. And then Jared Lindsay the last 2 weeks in a row. The only playoff driver to win a race in the playoffs was Glenn Murphy Jr. And he is not going to win the championship. Right now, Nathan Short starting to pull a little bit on Randy Arms. Schwartz, as we know, so good in the regular season, multiple stage wins, thanks to his alternate strategies. They somehow always ended up working out, and it didn't even cost him in terms of the second half of the race. was your regular season champion to boot.
He's starting to pull a little. Yeah, he's starting to pull a little gap on Randy here.
Trying to make a regular season champion and the overall champion. Randy Arms ended up 5 points behind, both with 1 win on the season. Glenn Murphy Jr. had 4 wins on the season. We'll see how that ended up for him in a heartbreaking fashion. John Furnass had 3 wins on the season, not able to make it out of the first round due to just having to not be able to make every race. And that allowed Randy Arms for 11, Josh Lambert to pick up the pieces. Randy Arms with the most top 10s. Tied with Shorts, both at 12 apiece. Ryan Taylor had 10, Glenn Murphy Jr. 11. Randy with the most top 5s, 10. Obviously a very deserving championship for minimal incidents for all of them. Very deserving championship for. Still a long way to go. Pit stops still yet to come. Ryan Taylor.
Yeah,
Right at that 120 window.
Decided to have one of the longest races of the season for the championship race. Make him pull out all the strategy. You want to be a champion, you got to earn it.
Window. Trying to get back into this, undercut Shorts and Arms a little bit. Joseph Murata doing a very nice job here this evening inside the top 10. He's up 8 positions, your biggest mover of the night currently.
Be careful talking about him. I think we've cursed him every time this year. He's been very unlucky in his own series.
He's looking for his first top 10 of the season. And it will be his 10th start. Randy Arms now 6.5 car lengths behind. See, this is where a 1-lap undercut does, beauty for you. Coming just a lap before, you don't have a huge difference in tire advantage there. You continue to get that clean air. And you saw how close Randy was for so many laps behind that 58. Might have arguably been the faster car. Qualified better. They're just stuck in that dirty air, and they're so similarly paced as the sun went down, they couldn't find a way around. You can get that clean air, it'll change your perspective. We'll see if the 8 tries to come in a lap before. There's Travis De Leon. He's coming in. Ryan Taylor going to be the quickest man on the racetrack. Himself here on Jared Lindsay. He has opened up 1.5 second lead over Nathaniel Landwehr. Taylor being very respectful of the leader, though, needs to find a way around him.
This is not the time to be respectful when you're in a championship hunt. You cannot be running the same lap times as the leader of the race when you're on fresh tires.
Gotta find a way around. Now he's gonna fly around the outside. There you go. Put the fresh rubber to use. Back into the fight.
You've got the whole car, you got to use the whole car.
And the arm's still right at that 0.6 of a second margin, though. The gap has stabilized. I would definitely consider coming in a lap or two early if you can. Definitely don't want him to come in before you. Travis De Leon again, extended time on pit road. Adam Kildare, no issues. Scared after a nice night up 3 spots. Here comes Michael Davis, who's been trying to recover ever since that contact with Wayne Ubrack way back on lap number 30 or so. Maybe right side damage to the 57, but when do one of our leaders elect to blink? When do Jonathan Shorts and Randy Arms, when do they blink?
You gotta say within the next 10 laps, don't you think?
Gotta be. You still have 2 pit stops remaining here this evening.
Yeah, but you don't want to make that final one, like, really short.
Take a look at the last time they came down pit road. Doesn't show it as well as I would have wanted to. Jonathan Schwartz 92, Randy Arms 91, so he tried that last time by. Jared Lindsay 2-lap pressure tires came in on lap 93. .38 to 42 laps estimated by guys here this evening.
Jared Lindsay, though, 2 seconds on Nathaniel Landwehr.
Landwehr puts up such a good fight on the short and even on the medium run. Just when it gets to that very end of the fuel run, Jared Lindsay picks it up to a whole new level.
I mean, Jared Lindsay's keeping up with Ryan Tiller. Ryan Tiller's on fresh tires.
Ryan Tiller put it on lap 117. Ryan Tiller was very competitive towards like the lap 70, 80 mark, as high as 6th. This one, the track got colder, the sun went down, looks like the car's gone backwards a little bit on him. Eric Shields is in, Nathaniel Landwehr is in. So we expect Randy Arms and Jonathan Schwartz in at any moment. We have still 7/10 of a second between these two. Gotta get everything you can out of it here. Jared Lindsay should be in as well soon to cover off Nathaniel Landwehr. We'll see when he elects to come in. Not this lap, though. Schwartz, Randy Arms, who pulls the trigger first. Nobody on this lap. There's Chris Pinder. He was battling away with Samuel Demien, so he's going to try and hit the undercut. 24 machine. And around lap 130. Arms lost a couple of tenths on that last lap. He's 2 tenths slower. So I say if you're going to lose time, definitely might as well come in and pull the trigger.
Yeah, no reason not to come in and get fresh tires. Try an undercut. Just try something different. You don't want to come in the same time as him unless you're confident that you can get on his bumper going into pit road.
0.2 now. Last time by 32.4 for Schwartz, 32.7 for Randy. At this point, you're just losing time, right, as the pit stops are about to open, so not sure why you wouldn't come down and try and do something different. Nathaniel Landwehr should take the lead of the race here from Jared.
Yeah, I think that'll be a good race to watch near the end. 2 seconds behind, he should be able to make up a good amount of that time.
Travis all quits here this evening, so only 15 cars remaining on track. Roy Blevins is in. This is Tony Scarbo, Joseph Murata, Casey Brown.
Randy Arms pitting in this time by. Oh, Schwartz is coming in with him. Yes. Championship contenders.
Here on the entrance, how smooth can it be? Very smooth there for the 58. How quickly can the 8 close up? He's going to close way up. He definitely said it. Look at that.
That's going to be a spicy one.
Gained 7 tenths on the entry there. Lost a couple of tenths last couple laps. He gained it all back. Now you got to get in and out of your box. Schwartz does it just fine. Randy does it just fine. All down to the cruise. Jonathan Schwartz. 14.58. Here comes Randy.
Oh, Randy's smoking him, trying to get off. Not a smooth exit from Randy Arms.
Jonathan Schwartz will pull here. Came in. That's crazy. Came in 6 tenths and leave 2.5. So Randy, the big loser there in that exchange. They both out. Lose to Nathaniel Landwehr. Here comes Jared Lindsay, who is flying. Should come out your race leader until up to 9th thanks to his short pit. Samuel Demien yet to pit. Yeah, that was 2.6 and Jonathan Schwartz thinking about busting out the champagne here tonight.
I think Randy just a little aggressive, trying to get out of his box. Did not let the tires, get the grip in.
Here comes Jared Lindsay, and there goes Nathaniel Landwehr, off into turn number 1. So this will be a pretty sizable gap with 6 laps fresher tires.
You talked about it though, long run speed. I think Landwehr is probably going to try and do another early pit, maybe around 170, 175.
See, now this is fascinating. This is kind of what I thought Glenn Murphy Jr. should have ended up doing. Hindsight, maybe give it 5 or 6 lap fresher tire advantage. Oh, and Lindsay's loose on the outlap. This is pointing suddenly in Nathaniel Landwehr's direction.
No, did my pick to win just potentially throw?
He's got 7.5 seconds to Jared Lindsay. And his tires are only 6 laps older, so it's not as drastic as a fall off. And if you see Jared Lindsay catching you, you come in lap 160 right as the fuel window opens, and you come down, get those fresh tires, and build that advantage up again. So I think Nathaniel Landwehr is in a very good position here. I think Jonathan Schultz is also in a good position. Both pitted on the same lap, and he has a 2.4 second advantage over Randy Arms. Looking very good for the 58. Jared Lindsay, we know he has the speed. Have a lot of work to do here. Remainder of this race. 66, one of only 3 Toyotas in the field looking to get one. Looking for his first win of the season.
My mood has been ruined. The Yankees won a baseball game.
But Jared Lindsay, 0.6 of a second quicker last night. He's now got those tires warmed up and in the optimal working window. Biggest lap of the race by anybody thus far. Ryan Tiller is in danger, and it is happening, and he is going a lap down. Demian is on the same straightaway as the leader, so Ryan Tiller needs a lot of help to get back into this championship fight. Gap now down to 5.6 though, so he is closing quickly. Last lap for Nathaniel Landwehr, 31.3 this lap. Jared Lindsay at 30.8. Awesome, Will. Yeah, we are live Monday, Tuesdays, and Fridays, although this is the final Tuesday night race of the season. We've been at it for the Affinity Racing Series, and then here, LSRL gang. And Friday night, the Rod Car Truck Tour, some super speedway action. So appreciate you stopping by. Came in for the championship race. We got a good one. Some tire strategy down to the end here. 60 laps to go next time by. Schwartz might win the championship. I don't think he wins the race, though, unless that's what you meant. In which case, I agree with you. But Randy Arms has got the gap now under 2 seconds. And I feel like the last stop of the race, you're going to have to try and do something different. You're going to have to come in and be aggressive and just hope the tires can hold on. He came in on lap 96, so he is pushing the field to its limits here. Tony Scarbo gets by. It's 21. No one really tried to do anything different on fuel, but 21 machine definitely saving fuel.
And with the talk of strategies, Randy Arms, I said it before, he's gonna have to make a call to try and undercut Schwartz. With that stop last time around, like, it just says it's more important now. He's got to do something to get ahead of him.
1.8 seconds last lap. He was a 10th quicker. Here's the delta over the last couple laps, so he is closing 2.4 to 1.7 this lap. Schwartz takes a little bit back. Schwartz gets around the lap traffic of Eric Shields. Same with Damien finally comes in. He's safe here, but he'll still have to make another pit stop. And here comes Jared Lindsay, 7/10 of a second quicker. Check out the time delta between first and second here. And over the last 5 laps, he's gained 3 seconds or so. Ozman Cometh got a driver update redemption for somebody who you want.
I'd have to assume he wants Pinder, but we can wait for confirmation.
Do that. Chris Pinder sits 14th, exactly where he started. He is currently 1 lap down. It's Corey Blevins and Michael Davis battling away here for 6th.
I did, in fact, already know.
See, we know our audience.
Don't be saying that. We'll be forgetting names at some point.
Joseph Murata still doing a heck of a job. Your biggest mover here tonight, looking for his first top 10 of the season in Wilder Graphics Chevrolet Camaro. He's a 1.3 back. He had 7.5 seconds to make up, and he did. Unfortunately for Nathaniel Landwehr, he's going to catch him before the final pit window ends even. Tony Scarbo in the mix as well, on fresher tires than your race leader. That could throw potentially a small wrench in the plans.
Lindsay's a good driver to root for.
On the last 2 in a row. Playoff spoiler, last season's champion, and he's showing you why. Tremendous speed on the long runs, very consistent, minimizes the mistakes.
Although he did have a mistake here tonight, and it's the reason he's so far back, having to claw back all this ground.
Read the numbers on the door sideways instead of turn number 4. Randy Arms is still 2 seconds back.
I want to say this, Pinder is not allowed to have a Colt. YJ is the only one allowed to have a Colt here.
And he gets inside of Tony Scarbo. Now nothing separating your top 2 here. We are approaching 50 to go. This is the championship race. 16 races this season. He's in 7 of the Lightspeed Racing League. And they have put on a heck of a show, averaging, I don't know the exact number, but it can't be more than 2 cautions a race. Here comes Jared Lindsay all over the back bumper. The 66 not able to wrap the bottom, and here goes Jared Lindsay. No contest for the race lead down the back straightaway. 66 put up as much fight as he could on those 6-lap older tires. And the 18 is clear and through. Casey Brown gets by Eric Shields. He's chasing after Ryan Tiller as well on the fresh tires for the last spot in the top 10. Randy Arms continuing to drop time to Schwartz. It is 2.5 seconds with 50 laps to go. And as we saw there, Jared Lindsay made up 7.5, 8 seconds on 6-lap newer tires. So the undercut, short-term success, but at the expense of that long-term run. The speed not there at the end when you need it the most. Personally, I despise me. That's just me,
I think we're going to have to call it here. I don't know if I can work with you.
I cannot. I just can't.
That is the most...
I've been over that with you before. I'm almost positive.
I don't remember that. I think we might have ended the friendship there.
Against the mac and cheese trade.
Never been so hurt in my life.
You think you know your guy. You think you know your co-commentator. Here comes
Hey,
Eric
at least-
Shields to the inside of Ryan Tiller. He's still blinking out, but his internet is held on somehow, some way.
At least when I'm able to talk you into having cookouts in the future, I don't have to worry about you eating my mac and cheese.
That's all for you.
I mean, I feel like if we have a cookout, there would be more people. I don't think you're the only one that would be there that hates mac and cheese.
You would eat
But
all
you're
the
an
mac and
outlier
cheese.
here. I would. Give me the option. I will.
I'll tell you what, though, if Nathaniel Landwehr can hang on for another 7 laps, keep it within this 1 second gap, he could try the undercut. I mean, it's going to be very hard to hold off the 18 over the long run, but you at least give yourself a shot if you keep it close. Tony Scarbo being very respectful as the lap car as well, just following in the tire tracks. Because I am a notoriously picky eater. I eat hamburgers.
Whitest man that I know.
I eat steak. I
You eat
sloppy
seasoned food?
Joe. What defines seasoned food?
More than just salt and pepper.
I don't know what that entails.
This man doesn't know his seasonings.
No, I really don't. I mean, I don't know. People put seasonings on food. I don't know. I know nothing about it. To be honest. My wife puts random stuff on the food. I like chicken. I like steak. I like hamburgers, pork. You know, all that. Just the basic meat. I am a meat eater.
You like meat.
I mean, it's very simple, right? Like,
Gated community is afraid of culture. Is afraid of flavor.
ketchup is inherently spicy, you know? Gotta be careful.
That's when you say mayonnaise is spicy.
Mayonnaise is disgusting. Horrid topping. So Jonathan Schwartz, get ready. If you can just make a green flag pit stop, I think you can bust out the champagne. Or the sparkling grape juice or whatever it is. I don't know.
What?
Let's drink champagne. Drink
Oh.
some beer. We're going to drink a lot of beer tonight.
I don't think you've ever had one in your life.
I'd like Fireball tonight.
I am surprised to hear that you've ever had alcohol.
Yeah, Fireball is some top tier stuff. Big Red cinnamon gum and alcohol. Closing
I'm
in.
telling God.
Okay. Closing in on the final pit window here. Roughly about to open. It might open. And we saw Samuel Demien go 45, 46 laps. So technically the final window of the night is open. The race of attrition into lead lap cars has claimed a significant number. No cautions after the lap 50 point. Only 7 drivers remain on the lead lap. Michael Davis laps at Tony Scarbo. First man 1 lap down. You see them back there in that red car. Not too far off. Jonathan Schwartz, 3.3 seconds over Randy Arms. Ryan Tiller sits 12th. Needs a miracle to get back in it. And Glenn Murphy Jr. out of the race in 17th position. I do love cinnamon apples, cinnamon sticks, cinnamon toast crunch, cinnamon toast. So cinnamon is very good.
I don't think God would have to coupon. I think he could just, continue to turn water into wine and bread into fish. No need for coupons.
You didn't turn bread into fish. You just multiplied the bread and the fish.
Oh, multiply the bread. My bad.
160, so we can officially say the final pit window is open. So we'll see if anyone tries to get very aggressive here. Field is mostly
They're
spread
one
out.
and the same.
There's
The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Yeah, but it was never mind. We are not getting in that debate. Randy Arms, though, the fuel window is open, and he is being very aggressive on the pit stop right as the fuel window open. He is down. He's got to do something different to beat Jonathan Schwartz, and he's at least going to try.
I really figured this call would come around lap 165, 170. I think it's pretty far to go, on this set of tires.
Got to do something different. He was 3.5 seconds back, and try something different. Hope you can hold on at the end. He is out and away. We'll see what Schwartz tries to do. Corbin, quit engaging in topics that cause controversy.
Can't have that here.
I will revoke your mod so quick.
He's losing his 20% like on a daily basis.
Yeah. He's actually owes us 20% extra. Jonathan Mazzella's in. He's got some right side damage to the side of that 41.
Virginia.
Bagley, you're too young. But every lap that Schwartz stays out, it's going to bring Randy Arms into it. Further and further his advantage will be when he comes back around. Surprised we haven't seen Nathaniel Landwehr take a trip down pit road. He's still in undercut range, 1.7 seconds back. If Bagley actually doesn't know, I'm ending the broadcast. Michael Davis is in. Ooh, he got close. He barely hit that cone there. Can we talk about Steelers football? That'd be nice. Nathaniel Landwehr is in, so he's going to go aggressive on the strategy as well.
I knew you'd like that one.
Steelers winning the Super Bowl this year. You cannot.
What's a virgin? Drew Jawan. Honestly?
Never mind. Folks. That should not ruin the fantastic ending we have on deck here.
Can they be mad at us for bullying drivers?
I think they can.
I don't like that idea. I don't want to be punished. I've done nothing wrong.
I will go solo so quickly. Michael Davis speed on pit road. Fixing damage, but just pinned her in for his final stop of the season.
You could go solo, but would it be as fun?
I think right?
Might be less controversial, but
Michael Davis,
where's
I
the
do
fun
think
in that?
had a speeding penalty.
Georgia is a terrible place to be. It's got Georgia.
Adam Kilday, this is the final pit stop of the season for a lot of these drivers. I really can't tell if Bagley's being serious right now. It hurts.
I really don't think he is.
There's no way, right?
Don't interact with a child.
Here comes Randy Arms. He is charging. He's got Nathaniel Landwehr just ahead of him, 0.5 of a second. And we're on those pressure tires that should pull away. Here comes Jared Lindsay in for his final stop of the season. Jonathan Schwartz, he is going to go long, and he is going to just charge down at the end on those fresh tires. They have to be running qualifying laps every single lap, though. Randy Arms going to look to unlap himself on Schwartz. Schwartz has got to be in this time, you imagine, especially with Landwehr and Arms in his rearview mirror. What is happening in chat? We gotta. Schwartz continuing to lead. Corey Blevins staying out on the racetrack as well, as is Tony Scarbo. Jared Lindsay. Here he comes. There goes Jonathan Schwartz. There goes Nathaniel Landwehr. With the gap even closer. 4-lap fresher tires. Actually, excuse me, Nathaniel Landwehr last pitted on lap 163, 166. So that's 3 laps in 2.5 seconds he has to make up. Randy Arms in the mix as well, who has gotten by Jonathan Schwartz, unlapped himself the hard way, and will be miles clear with 30 laps to go or so. So Schwartz gonna put it all on him.
He was, in fact, in the race on Monday.
Jared Lindsay. He's going to get held up behind that 58, so he loses even more time. Still 2.4 seconds there, so he made up no time on that lap.
Schwartz going a lot longer than I thought he would, but he just called out, pitting in this time by.
Randy Arms 30 seconds back and closing. Give him a lot of time. We'll see what the gap ends up being. Randy working through traffic. Jared Lindsay going to work through traffic. Nathaniel Lambert trying to hold on. Schwartz in for his final pit stop. No mistakes here. The money stop for the championship.
My money stop.
Here comes Randy Arms down the back straightaway. Into turn number 3, Schwartz in his box, nice and easy. Right side tires going on. Randy Arms through 3 and 4. 30 laps to go.
I think Schwartz is going to have to make a call here. Not Schwartz, Randy Arms.
Back.
Yeah, Arms going to have to let Jared Lindsay through. I don't want to just get behind him and try and draft as much as I can.
Yeah, don't want to get in the race here because he comes out 10.5 seconds, maybe 11. It is still, the gap's still increasing. And it is going to end up at 12 seconds with 29 laps to go and an 11 lap difference on tires. Now 29 laps to go. 12.10 is what it peaked at. They have one car in between them. Tony Scarbo, he'll pit and get out of the way. Jonathan Schwartz has left it all to do. Run a qualifying lap. Every lap we'll see what the time difference is on their first lap out of the pits. Scarbo comes in. Jared Lindsay 0.7 of a second behind. So we got battle for the race win, the battle for the championship. All in the last 30 or so laps here.
Schwartz that time by 0.6 faster. Lindsay faster than Landwehr, so.
Lindsay all over the back bumper of Nathaniel Landwehr. Has the fresher tires, plenty of time to do it. 26 laps to go. Green flag pit stops are completed without issue. Michael Davis has parked that 57 machine after receiving that penalty. Here is the battle for the lead. Jared Lindsay all over the back bumper of Nathaniel Landwehr. 26 to go. This time by was a lap ahead of myself. To the inside, no contest. Jared Lindsay back to the front.
If you can find 10 women to run an iRacing league, we'll do it. We will start a women's league.
Jared Lindsay's clear. Randy Arms trying to hang on. 9.2 seconds ahead. Jonathan Schwartz for the title. 25 laps to go. It's coming down to tire strategy. Last lap for Randy, 31.8. Last lap for Schwartz, 30.8. He would catch him at this rate. And he tried the aggressive undercut strategy, had nothing to lose. Schwartz stuck to his guns, and he's going to use this fresh tire here at the end. Make up ground.
Randy Arms was pleading with Pinder, just hold him up.
You see there on the track map, Randy halfway down the back straightaway. Jonathan Schwartz halfway through 1 and 2. You can just barely see him. Don is a second quicker a lap right now. Or just under it. 7-second gap with 23 laps to go. Gonna have to run qualifying laps till the end. He's starting to pull away 0.5 of a second over Landwehr, and he can just see Randy Arms going off into turn number 3 as he exits turn number 2. So as if he didn't need any more encouragement, you can see him. A very small dot in the windshield, but he'll get bigger and bigger. We get closer to the end of it. And how hard does Randy Arms block a teammate on fresh tires at the end of this thing? Ryan Tiller still might come out of here champion if these two get involved. Right now he is flying and gaining a second a lap still. That time by though, 0.8 quicker, so the margin is slowly coming back. Randy Arms is trying to get this gap stabilized, but Jonathan Schwartz is on a charge. Now see Randy Arms going into turn number 1 as he crosses the start-finish line. Last time by for Jonathan, 32.1. 31.1 last time by for Randy, a 32.1. 21 laps to go. Randy is wishing this race was the championship 180.
I mean, he still has a good ways, you know, to Jonathan Schwartz. Like, Schwartz might burn up his tires. He might be able to put up a fight, but it's not looking great.
Adam Kilday and Casey Brown. That's for the 10th position. Kilday takes the spot away. Silverado up double digits. And the 7th, his best run of the season by far.
That's out pocket.
The gap now 4 seconds between Randy Arms and Jonathan Schwartz. Really, at this point, I don't think they should have any sets of tires left. So a caution does nothing except hurt Randy. 18 laps to go. Last time by 32.2 for Randy. Schwartz at 31.4. This time by 32.21. Schwartz 31.5, so 0.7 of a second. He is 3 seconds and closing all the while. 7.1 to 3.3. Under 3 seconds, 2.8. 2.7. 2.6. 17 laps to go.
It really feels like it's just a matter of time.
Roughly here. Look at the cockpit there, especially Randy having to get around lap traffic. Gap is 2.3. Really might even be with it before 10 laps to go. Might be in the next 2 or 3 laps here. We have the decisive pass for the championship. 16 laps to go. Jared Lindsay leads by 1.3 seconds over Nathaniel Landwehr. Jonathan Schwartz at the start of this race was running right back in 11th with Ryan Tiller just around him. They're going for the fringes of the top 10. Glenn Murphy Jr. His incidents tonight well documented. He fell by the wayside. Then there were 3. Ryan Tiller just never seemed to have the speed, the race-winning speed, the championship-winning speed. Solid top 10 speed. He's saving fuel here, so it might be something to look at there, but he put it on lap 159, as did Randy. They had to go aggressive. That's another thing for Randy to have to consider here. Schwartz should be fine on fuel. 15 laps to go. Then as it became clear it was going to be a Randy Arms and Jonathan Schwartz fight for the title. 41 stays out of the way, very respectful. Schwartz held his nerve and held off everything Randy threw at him. The sequence of green flag stopped after the stage break. Schwartz extended his lead, and now Randy, with the Hail Mary of the older tires, tried the undercut. He just got to get through this 21 machine. He'll do so just fine. Nothing separating Randy and Schwartz, your championship contenders.
You're going to be knocking on the door.
13 laps to go. What does Randy Arms even have left? Can he even throw a block?
Can he throw a block without getting himself wrecked?
Lap traffic to deal with as well. Adam Kilday running 10th. Schwartz goes to the top side, going to try and gas it up early, get on the power, and get the run down the back straightaway. Has the run, gonna look to the inside. Randy.
He's trying to fake him out.
Now he's looking to the inside. He falls back in line. Lap traffic still to deal with. Kilday going to the bottom. Here comes Schwartz again, powering it up on the outside. It's one thing to catch. It's another thing to pass. Bump drafting down the front straightaway. Kilday right in front of these guys.
I'm not sure if I would necessarily call that bump drafting.
But Schwartz to the bottom side of the racetrack. 12 laps to go. Kilday yields to the low side of the racetrack. And the Arm's doing a nice job just holding on with everything that he has. It's not much. Here comes again the 58 with the run on the high side. Side by side out of turn number 4, and Schwartz has the run. 11 laps to go. He's got half a car in front. Now he's got the whole car. Jonathan Schwartz through to third, and that
Randy's
should be
going
enough
up
to
Randy
clinch
just
the
doesn't
title.
have it.
Randy, 11 lap older tires, tried to fight for as much as he could. Very respectful between the teammates. No sets of tires left.
Still going up to the top, trying to find anything he can. I don't think there's anything left to find.
With 10 laps to go, he gave it his best shot. Jonathan Schwartz, the superior long run speed out of your championship contenders. Perfect on the green flag pit stops. Stayed out of trouble early in the race when he was a little bit off the pace. Was fighting in that hornet's nest for the top 10, but got better and better as the night went on. Started 10th. Lowest of your championship four. The caution really wouldn't do anything. They're all out of tires. Even if they had tires, Randy catches a piece of the wall there. Exit to turn number 2. They don't average more than 2 cautions a race. It might be like 1.5 or something. One of the cleanest leagues we've ever had the pleasure of commentating on the YJ Media Group channel. They lived up to it tonight, putting on a flag-to-flag performance thus far in the championship race. Only the stage break at lap number 50 interrupted the green flag proceedings. Jared Lindsay leads by 3 seconds. No battles on track. Everyone's firmly entrenched. Jared Lindsay started 3rd at top 4 speed the entire night. And Langler started 6th. And solid top 5 speed all night. Race winning speed at one point, but over the course of the long runs, that fell away to Jared Lindsay. Jonathan Schwartz, his rise to 3rd place and potentially a Season 7 championship.
He says potentially when he has a 2-second gap.
Yeah, I won the Sebring 12 hours once because the lead car disconnected with 20 minutes left after being a lap behind him. Anything and everything can and will happen here.
If that were to happen to Jonathan Schwartz, I would be heartbroken for him.
Randy Arms started 4th. That's where he looks to finish. Needed one more spot. Corey Blevins, the only other car on the lead lap, he started 12th. Caught a piece of the wall early on, but recovered well. Jonathan Mazzella, currently running 6th. Has some decent right side damage on that 41, but he's able to hang on. Joseph Murata looks to secure his first top 10 of the season. He's your biggest mover up 10. Eric Shields with a very nice performance. Started 8th, looking to finish 8th. Ryan Tiller finished 3rd here in the title fight this evening. Just did not have the long run speed that Schwartz and Arms did to compete. But another top 10 for the 23 gang. The momentum to build on next season. They were a championship 4 contender. Adam Kilday at 9 spots. Fantastic run for the 14 group. Brown running 11th. Tony Scarbo 12th. And Chris Pinder 13th. And Samuel Demien, who tried an alternate strategy with some fuel saving. Last car out on track in the 14th position. To the field one final time here in Season 7 of LSRL. Jared Lindsay.
I can't believe Jared Lindsay is about to lap up to 5th place. He's only a corner behind.
3 laps to go, though. Don't think he'll push the issue too much.
I mean, it'd be pretty impressive if I tried to do it.
What's that for Jared? 32.6. Last lap.
Oh, Blevins is
32.4, so I think he'll hang on. Yeah, 200 laps. 1 caution that's artificial due to the stage break for strategy.
By the way, shout out Joseph Murata, 6th place currently.
When he gets around Zella late. Take a look at how he did it. Everyone's blinking out there a little bit. He just backed up way in the corner, and 5 will get through. 41 actually going to come in and pit late here. Jared Lindsay through turn number 4. We get to the white flag. Race is official. And again, the superior long run speed. Breaking through yet again. Only made part-time starts this season. Good thing for the rest of the field. He could very well be your champion here this evening. He wins 3 races in the playoffs. Playing Ultimate Spoiler. All 3 coming back to back to back. Out of turn number 4 for the final time. And Jared Lindsay, your winner here this evening. But Jonathan Schwartz through 3 and 4 will be the Season 7 LSRL champion. As Randy Arms ran out of fuel. Putting Corey Blevins into the 4th position. Last car on the lead lap, and he comes around. Take the checkered flag to cap off a fantastic season of racing. Jared Lindsay, your race winner. Jonathan Schwartz, your champion. Randy Arms pitted literally at the very opening of that fuel run. Lap 159, not able to save. Couldn't afford to save. And he'll come home 5th here this evening. Shout out Joseph Murata. First top 10 of the season, almost a top 5. And there is your dual burnouts, Jared Lindsay and Jonathan Schwartz burning it down 3 in a row for the 18. A solid season, regular season champion for the 58, capped off with the overall champion. And they will burn it down together on the front stretch. Daniel Landwehr, another great race for him. Comes home P2 tonight. Sandwiched in between the champion winner and the race winner.
I mean, we got the same thing as we did last week. All the top 3 are from one team. All the top 3 are in the same voice chat.
We'll give it to him one at a time.
Just say win.
Nice and respectful. We'll let them do their little Polish victory. No, not Polish victory lap, but it is. They do. I forgot about this. We have a treat here tonight. Completely forgot about it, but this is Jonathan Schwartz's first championship. Jared Lindsay, the defending champ last season. So a new champion here. 7 seasons, Joseph Murata, Season 1. Justin Wilson, Season 2. Dylan Reed, Season 3. Brandon Massey, Season 4. Joshua Lawton, Season 5. Jared Lindsay last year. And this season is Jonathan Schwartz, and the demo derby for the champion is well underway. Forgot to mention that in all the excitement tonight. Last car standing wins, and the demo derby is underway. Samuel Demien upside down.
Man, it would have been real funny pulling a race winner as they're all just banging into each other.
They're going at it. But 7 seasons, 7 different champions. As they all destroy Schwartz there. Fun way to end the season. No aggression to get out. They're all super clean. Look at Landwehr landed a nice shot there. Back to our Wreckfest roots. There's Lindsay trying to get away. Murata backing it into the fence. Some good stuff, though.
Jared Lindsay gonna get a big ol' hit there. He drove a good ways out to try and get one. They're using actual derby
Chris
tactics.
Pinder
They're
is on the
leading
other
with a
side.
rear end.
Pinder's on the other side of the wall. Oh my goodness.
I did not expect to see actual derby tactics.
Oh, what a
used in an
hit there on
Xfinity car.
Randy Arms and Jonathan Mazzella. What a
That
hit.
man was in the fence.
They're using. They know what they're doing here. They got it. They got a handle on it. They didn't wreck at all during the season, so it only makes sense that they wreck now. Here comes Jared Lindsay. Let's see if he lines up a hit. They're all burning it down. What a way to end the season. There you go. Gets a good hit there on multiple cars. Who will be the last one standing? I have no idea. Let's get down and dirty here. Eye level.
Can't believe we're not enjoying this from their voice chat.
Oh, that's like Adam Kildare comes in. I think he KOs our champion. Pinder's still going out there. Put it in reverse. Got a little bit of smoke. I think Eric Shields is done. Adam Kildare takes a shot from Casey Brown. Yeah, he toes. They are. Randy Arms with a good shot up and over on the hood of Corey Blevins. This is some funny stuff right here. This is probably the best way to end the season. Oh, swing and a miss from Murata. Pinder's still going. Eric Shields dead. I think Kildare is done. Casey Brown hits him for good measure. What a hit there from Arms. Samuel Demian up and over. Someone help him out. Somebody help him out. Give him a tap. Come on. Help him out.
Oh, he's wiggling.
There you go. Yeah, there it is. That's the camaraderie. And 21's still going. I think Schwartz is done, our champion. Pinder gonna line up a kill shot maybe on the 13. Landwehr gets a shot in. They're using actual derby tactics. Murata sends it in. Eric Shields is just witnessing the chaos. Here comes Nathaniel Landwehr. Kind of back it up, put it in reverse. Terry. Randy Arms gets a good shot there. Casey Brown in the mix. Murata getting it lined up. We will sit here as long as we need to until there's one car remaining. I completely forgot about this announcement, and I'm so glad it's here. Oh my goodness.
Oh, there's a big shot coming.
I think Arms is out. Eric Shields, Schwartz definitely out. Tony Scarab out of the running. Mazzella out. Ryan Tiller out. Samuel Demian still in it. Chris Pinder in it. Corey Blevins, Joseph Murata, Nathaniel Landwehr, Casey Brown. They're all trying to be very delicate here. Gotta hit the front end of these cars, get the engine blown. Landwehr with a decent shot, but it's bumper-to-bumper contact. The 66 actually still has a hood, as does Joseph Murata. They got to line up some shots here. Schwartz gets another one just for the fun of it. Ooh, that's a good hit from Murata. On to Demian.
Now that's a championship car you want to store in a museum.
That's the diecast right there. Schwartz is just being hit around, but he's the champion. Get up, you got some momentum. Go hit somebody. Go hit somebody. I think Corey Blevins might be... No, he's putting it in reverse. Nathaniel Landwehr stuck down to the inside. Schwartz gets hits again. Demian's just hitting anybody. He doesn't even care.
C-car, hit car.
Good hit there from Corey Blevins. All being very tentative, though. I think this is more important than the season-long championship, the winner of the Demo Derby. Oh, Casey Brown just made sure Eric Shields wasn't going anywhere. Absolutely took him out. Rada still has part of a hood, so does Casey Brown. That's a good shot. Oh, Demian just escapes. Casey Brown gets a piece. Schwartz is still there. Gets another piece as the champion. Well done. Rada hard into the wall. Oh, that might be. If that was an actual car, that would have been a kill shot. But alas, Jonathan Schwartz has been dead. Meaning, got to go hit somebody else. Landwehr is just. I think he's dead. Yeah, he towed off. Brought into the wall. So I think we have Samuel Demien, Casey Brown, Adam Kilday. And, well, scratch that. Kilday's just sitting there moving his wheels. That's a big contact up there. 4 cars under a blanket. That Corey Blevins done? No, it's not. These are some durable engines. Just hindered. Yeah, obviously you don't want to go front to front here. Blow the engine. It looks like 5 cars still have a shot to win the demo derby. And they are taking it very seriously. Casey Brown kind of playing coy there. Kilday's still moving the wheel. I could see his tires moving.
Where's our contact timer?
Or it's just getting hit for the fun of it. Demien is just saying, hey, I got you, buddy.
I think by now, Casey Brown's been ruled out. If he starts moving, he's going to have to understand that he is ineligible. The Amarillo Demo Derby's got timers, contact timers.
I think here we're kind of at a standstill.
You think you want to try and bring in the winner?
Schwartz is getting pushed around by Demien. I love that. Look at this. I'm getting him back up to the front stretch, but I think Demien just spun out. Joseph Murata, 3 cars on track. Schwartz is dead. Really, Murata and Demien, we call it a tie. Give a slight edge to Demien for helping Schwartz get under zone power here. 17 machine. And there you go. It finally blew. Let's take another look here on board. What a way to KO it. There you go. Joseph Murata, I don't know if he's got a car, but nevertheless, that was the season-ending demo derby, and Schwartz parks it on the start-finish line as your Season 7 champion. Go ahead and we do race winner first, or...
Go race winner. Give Schwartz the longest time since he finished 3rd and is the champion.
1 and about... Oh.
All right, no warning. That's how we do it here with your race winner, Jared Lindsay, 3 in a row, the ultimate playoff spoiler. Coming back to back to back, picking up some serious momentum as he heads into next season. Obviously, you were the Season 6 champion, able to make part-time starts this year, but came on at a tear at the end of the playoffs here, winning 3 races in a row, ensuring a dual burnout here tonight. And kind of a similar story to the last 2 weeks, just that superior long-run speed, minimizing the mistakes, and you come away here a winner yet again tonight.
Yeah, hey guys. First off, how you guys doing?
Pretty good. That was a marathon right there. 200 laps, multiple green flag pit stops, differing strategies, and a demo derby to boot. We couldn't be happier to call all the action.
Yeah, man. I can't wait to go back and watch it. All right, how you doing, bud?
I have to go to the bathroom. We've been here for 200 laps and a demo derby now.
Well, anyways, yeah, I can't wait to go back and watch it. Yeah, it was honestly a really interesting race. I really didn't know where I stood in relation to Glenn and Nate and Randy. Like the competition was tight. There was multiple ways to go about it, and then everybody was a couple laps off of strategy. At one point, we were 10 laps off of each other's strategy, so that was exciting. I'm sure you guys were probably having a field day with how long I was staying out, and then losing 7 seconds to start that following run. But I just was watching the stopwatch and trying to do some math in my head to figure out how long it would take me to catch him, and got a little nervous there for a second. And then towards the end, once I started adding it all up, I was like, provided that we don't get a caution, I think we got this in the bag, and I started seeing that Schwartz was gonna get up to Randy, so that was exciting to kind of watch on the scoreboard. But all in all, it was a good race. Car was stupid tight, and everyone did a pretty reasonable job holding on to it at the end of the run. And it was ungodly loose to start the run after the sun went down.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of in that first 30 laps or so, it was the Glenn Murphy Jr. show. Nathaniel Landwehr and yourself kind of top three. Really the top five nose to tail for most of that 30 lap run. Glenn going aggressive on his strategy, pitted at lap 40 and took tires as well as fuel. And that kind of had him on the back foot for the rest of the night. So once he was out of the equation, it was pretty much you and Nathaniel Landwehr kind of trade the top spot back and forth, like you mentioned. He went a little bit aggressive there. Had 7 seconds on you at one point, and we thought that might have been too much to overcome if you could have got to that last pit stop window, but you got by him, had a second to spare, and then came out on that final run with a second to make up with those 4-lap fresher tires, able to get by him and then cruise to a roughly 4-second margin of victory here tonight. Like you said, definitely the strategy was important. Keeping it clean on and off the pit road, minimizing the mistakes, very important. Be able to do that yet again here this evening and come away with your 3rd victory in a row. So you have some serious momentum heading into next season.
Oh yeah, I'll go ahead and call it for you now, so that way you don't have to talk about it when it happens. When we do the season opener at Daytona, I will finish in the bottom 25%. So I'm just gonna call it for you now.
There you go. Calling his shot for a rough opener at the wild card, and then expect him back towards the front the rest of the season to get that 2nd title.
Yes, sir. Thanks, guys, for the broadcast. You guys, honestly, you guys do a killer job. I've been hanging out with this group for about the 3-ish years I've been on iRacing, and you guys do the best job I've come across yet. So,
Thank you. We really appreciate that. We try our best. Y'all make it easy with as good as the racing is on track, and we look forward to seeing what y'all can continue to do as a group. Some of the cleanest racing on the service for the league side of things, I'm sure of anywhere, and just a great group to commentate on, and we greatly appreciate the opportunity. Before we let you go, any last shout outs? Anyone you need to say hi to for the broadcast?
yeah, I want to shout out the top 4 in points and Schwartz for winning the championship. I mean, I know there's not a ton of contenders, but these guys aren't easy to beat. They're very competitive, and I want to shout out, Moflo Racing, Palm Chevy, JHR Racing, Chevy Motors, Maconi Setup Shop. So, in Speed Zone Esports, and then all the admins that really make this thing go together. So,
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on a blistering end of the season, and we look forward to seeing what you got in store for next season.
bye, guys.
Thank you. Go ahead and get the 66 machine of Nathaniel Landwehr in the booth here. Your 2nd place finisher started 6th, ends up 2nd, and I know you're kind of tired of Jared Lindsay coming up 2nd fiddle to him a couple times this season, but nevertheless, you're showing great speed, and tonight you gave him pretty much everything he was worth. Had 7.5 seconds on him. Thought you might have pulled out the smart strategy there with the 6-lap difference on tires, but that long run speed, he just has that little bit extra gear there to find that extra couple of tenths, and he passed you late on those fresher tires, but you gave it everything you had. Highest finishing Toyota to boot. You definitely came on in the second half of the season with some very strong finishes yourself, and got some momentum for next season as well.
Yeah, it was a pretty good run. Jared is just in another league, and compared to me, I practiced quite a bit. I've been learning a lot from him, and hopefully next season I'll get to be around the same pace as him. But yeah, tonight he just had a different gear that kicked in after about 30. Like after those 30 laps on the tires, he had something else that no one else had, and I tried to pit early and just kind of even out the tires a little bit, but he's just fast.
Absolutely, but it's encouraging though to you that you ran ahead of a lot of the championship for tonight. It's got to be a little encouraging to see that you have some serious speed and you're right up there each and every week with the contenders of this league.
Yeah, I remember back a couple years ago running with these guys in a different league, and I was like maybe a top half car on a good week, and all these guys are sitting there. Like Glenn Murphy Jr. was always winning races, and Randy was always up there, and Schwartz is up there, and it's just nice seeing my improvement and just seeing these guys, it's a great group of guys to race with, and we all like respect each other and race clean. And it's fun coming out every week.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. The clean racing on display each and every week, raced hard but fair, and very, very impressive to see each and every week, no matter what track we go to. So definitely can agree with you that. Your final thoughts on the season, and then anyone you need to shout out or say hi to for the broadcast.
Yeah, final thoughts on the season. I ended up missing most of it. Wish I could have been a part of it. Show that I had the speed here to make it happen if I was in the playoffs, but just didn't happen that way. Had some life events come up. Besides that, that's about all I had. It's a great season, great league. Really enjoyed the time I spent here. I think I did like 7 races or something. But hopefully next season I'll come back part time and run it from there. And shout out people, just all the people watching the broadcast, and thanks to you guys for broadcasting. It's a good time.
Well, we appreciate the kind words. Congratulations on a strong end to the season here tonight.
Thank you.
And then here with your third place finisher, last of the podium interviewers, but good enough to secure him the Season 7 champion, Jonathan Schwartz, the 58 machine. Had the new paint scheme here tonight, and he took him to a championship. Ran a great race, clean race, minimized the mistakes on and off of pit road, and passed Randy Arms inside of 15 laps to go to secure his first title here in the LSRL series. Talk me through your night.
Man, I can't believe it. Starting the night with the level of competition we have in this league, I knew it was gonna be difficult to even have a shot. But being consistent all season long, limiting the mistakes on pit road, finally got me a championship. So couldn't be even happier than today.
Absolutely. You qualified in the 10th position, lowest of the championship four to start the night, but as that sun went down, you and Ryan Tiller were slowly making your way up through the field, and while he dropped off just a little bit there towards the end when the sun went down, you kept charging, and Glenn Murphy Jr., obviously his issues well documented tonight, took advantage of that mistake, and it was really you and Randy Arms for the second half of the race. You traded spots. He kind of went a little aggressive there in that second half with the undercut. You had to run him back down a couple of times and were able to do so on those fresher tires. But really, there was a good point there where he was right in your tire tracks for about 20 or so laps. And then obviously, the last 50 or so laps, you started pulling away. He'd give you the undercut, and you'd have to chase him back down. But talk me through those last 20 laps after that pit stop, having to run him back down.
I knew waiting 10 laps after he came in was gonna give me a good advantage to run him back down. I just need to save my stuff. So I was just patient with the car, let the car rotate through the corner. Slowly made up the ground, and then just took my time when I caught him. So that's just what you got to do in these races to take advantage.
Absolutely. Very respectful pass. Obviously, once you caught him, getting around him is a whole different story, but I know it's same teammates, but still hard but fair racing between the two. Able to find a way around him clean, which is much like we've seen all season long with the LSRL guys. Championship decided on track. No drama, so can definitely appreciate that here this evening.
Yeah, for sure.
But think you can make it back-to-back championships next season? What do you take away from this season going into the next one?
I don't know. Jared's talking about coming back, so he's been tough competition for us this season. Coming up when he wants to show up for a couple races with us, but I feel like I got a solid chance to. My consistency is good enough to have a shot at it. So as long as I'm there for the final four, I got a chance.
Absolutely. With the alternate strategies you did to the regular season, get you some stage wins to boot. It was a very entertaining season and a very deserving champion, regular season champion to boot. So kind of had everything on lock this season with the consistency, just minimizing the mistakes all season long. Came through when it mattered the most with the late pass, calm under the highest of circumstances. So a very well run race here tonight for the 58 team. Anyone you want to shout out for the final time here for this season on the broadcast?
Firstly, just thank you guys for doing a whale of a job this season. I know our fan base is growing slowly, but we're getting there. So it's been a lot of fun working with you guys through the season. We're looking forward to next season over the beginning of the summer. So my sponsors, my teammates, they've been working with me all season to get up here. So Just everybody did a great job, pulled up fantastic season together, and we're just going to grow from here.
Absolutely, like you said, a fantastic season. Appreciate all the hard work you guys did on track for putting on these good races. The admin team, thanks for the opportunity. Obviously, enjoyed calling y'all's races every Tuesday night, and appreciated getting to know y'all and watching y'all race. Y'all put on a heck of a show each and every week, and it was just a fantastic season and a thrilling championship race. So congratulations to you on the championship.
Thanks again.
Hello, the rest of the Speed Zone Esports guys. How we doing tonight?
Good.
Tired.
Tired? Yeah, that was a little bit of a marathon we had there.
Yeah.
I do have a
Very.
question. Does anyone have the final words of Glenn Murphy Jr.?
Yeah, that
Goodbye.
Was, oh.
We could probably not say them on the stream, but
Yeah, I was gonna say we can't say all of them.
So obviously that's my first question. Obviously you guys the most populated team, and obviously you guys show up a lot each and every week. So you have the numbers, but you have the results as well. Getting all 4 drivers into the championship. How did that kind of work out? I know Randy and Ryan, you were a part of it as well. With the pitch strategy there, he came in. Obviously Glenn did on lap 40 and took tires. And then kind of did the opposite of what everyone else had did. So how did that kind of play out? Was that individual, or was that something that was discussed pre-race?
No, we
He
didn't
just
talk
messed
about
up.
it. Yeah, that's what he
Yeah.
said. He just messed up. He thought
Accidental,
he
yeah.
was going to have enough tires, and then he didn't. So
Fair enough. Yeah, we thought about it up here, and especially with as clean as you guys are, he never got that caution to kind of get back on the same sequence,
Yep.
and then was just pushing super hard and knocked the fence down in turn number 4. The end of that, but we know he's got the speed. It was very sad to see him not fight there at the end of it, but know he's got the speed to be back next season for sure.
Oh yeah.
Randy, was there anything different you could have done tonight to challenge Jonathan? You think anything different over the course of 200 laps that would have played out in your favor?
Had a better pit crew apparently. I was well, I pitted 1 lap earlier, that 1 stop, and apparently that was just a terrible idea because Schwartz got about a second gap on me. So then we pitted on the same lap, and he just had a lot better stop. And then at that point, there was just pretty much no chance of just running him down. So I had to play a little strategy, which didn't think would work, but had to try something. So yeah, it's just it's kind of how it goes sometimes. Yes.
Yeah, I know you were in his tire tracks for about roughly 20 laps near the halfway point of the race. Kind of a similar story we've seen a couple times this year with you guys. You're also similarly paced, just hard to pass, especially if no mistakes are made. But you guys were giving it everything you had, very respectful, and just not able to find a way through. But it's not for lack of trying. You put all the pressure on him, and Jonathan held his nerve and forcing him into that early pit stop. At the end, he just kind of ran you back down on those fresher tires.
Yeah, it's just or so like you said, we were so even that once I had that yeah, once I had the kind of bad stop and he had a really good stop at the same time, I lost so much time that I just knew that it was going to be almost impossible just to run him down on the same tires. So.
I'd like to make a statement. The pit crew of Jonathan Schwartz, number 58, is under review for performance enhancing drugs.
Race will be overturned in the courtroom on appeal, but it was a fascinating race. Obviously, no cautions except the stage break, even over 200 laps. So everybody well focused tonight. Staple of the LSRL guys. So love to see that. Championship decided with a last percentage part of the race inside, I believe, 14 or 13 to go. Randy, you gave it everything you had on those older tires, made them work for it. But clean pass at the end, exactly what we want to see, and it was really a thrilling conclusion to the season for sure.
It was good.
Yeah, Ryan Tiller, what are your thoughts on tonight, coming home in the 3rd position in the championship?
Just my performance just let me down a little bit. I know I didn't finish last of the 4, but I feel like I could have at least kept up. One of the runs I got into the wall just enough to I guess, crinkle the rear end, and I never got a caution to fix the damage, so
You guys
I
don't
just
wreck
couldn't do
ever.
anything.
You have enough teammates that you could probably tell them to, but you guys don't.
No, I was coming to the conclusion that people were catching me in the straightaways and not in the corners. So while I didn't think I had enough damage at first, I kind of realized that maybe I did. So that was a disappointing thing. Just enough damage to not do anything.
You ran as high as 6th at one point, and were right behind Schwartz and Randy, kind of towards the right around like 60 or 70 maybe. Right after that initial stage caution, like you said, kind of with that damage and then the sun going down, it looks like it kind of fell off towards the end, but not for a lack of trying though.
Yeah, I was just trying to. Once I got the damage and realized I was slower, I was trying to run a different pit strategy, hopefully get something to work, but it didn't work. So
Yeah.
on to next season.
Absolutely. Ran a very consistent season, so definitely nothing to be upset about. The championship for a great team effort all season long, and expect more of the same from you this season.
All right.
Any final thoughts from Tony, Casey, Eric, Sam? How we doing?
No, just thank you guys for the awesome broadcast this year, and look forward to you guys next year, hopefully.
Absolutely. Y'all put on a great show, like I told everybody else. Cleanest league probably on iRacing. I don't think y'all averaged over 2 cautions the entire season. Just a fantastic league. Excited for the recruitment races and the league potentially growing over the summer. Just looking forward to everything about it. I believe next up for you guys, I think, what is it, May 18th? Y'all are battling our Monday night guys. League versus league showdown, I think. Allowed to publicly.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
surprise.
Well, I don't know.
Just kidding.
No
It should be fun.
No one ever told us anything, but it's funny watching the planning in the background between Monday and Tuesday night guys. But that should be a good show.
Absolutely.
Y'all are making us root for somebody. Art will root for you guys. I'll root for Monday. Flip a coin.
Whoa, wait, hold on a minute. Wait a minute.
I don't know. Good stuff,
I
though.
didn't think
Fantastic.
broadcasters were supposed to root for anybody.
Yeah, well, we definitely have our favorites.
We are very biased.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna start some crap. I'm just gonna go ahead and put the 800-pound gorilla in the room up front and center. Who do you think has the best drivers between the two?
Uh-oh.
I'm not legally allowed to answer that. It's in my contract.
It has an
You're gonna
R
get
in the name, that's
arrested.
for sure.
Can I see that contract?
Oh.
If you pay us more, we'll let you see our contract.
Okay. So that's not public information. That's fine.
Yeah.
$1.
But y'all probably, I don't know.
I think it really depends on who shows up, because
Yeah.
like ARS has some fast guys, but they'd have to show up. Their fast guys aren't always the cleanest guys either.
It'll be interesting. I'll be very interested to see how it goes down. But excited to see it. And again, thank you guys for putting on a great season. The admin team, everyone behind it. Joseph Murad, he was in here at one point, saw him dip out, but I know he does a good job behind the scenes getting everything organized. Very respectful. I never have to worry about coming into a voice chat and be like, I can't talk to these guys because they're yelling at each other or at somebody. Very respectful every week, so I appreciate that. Make it easy to do our jobs. Y'all put on a good show, and excited to see what's next for you guys.
Absolutely. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you guys for putting on a great broadcast every week.
You did miss when I fired Casey mid-race.
Oh.
though, so.
Well, Casey, what happened? Where'd you get
I don't even remember now, to tell you the truth.
Oh.
I think it's because I messed up on my pit strategy, and Randy, do you want to remind me why I'm fired again?
He was in my way. I was trying to run from sports.
Good
Well, I knew you had no chance in hell of catching him. So.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah. You know, have a good Wednesday morning debrief, I'm sure. But it's always a pleasure, gentlemen. Congratulations on a great season, Schwartz. Congrats again on the championship and the LSRL Piston Cup. Got a trophy coming your way.
You did what?
I was waiting for somebody to say that. But yeah, congratulations to the team as well. Granted, a great season. Came home with a championship for the team as a whole. And just a fantastic season of racing. And can't look forward to the next one.
Yep. That was good, guys.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you guys for broadcasting the season.
Of course. All right, we are approaching the two.
What is Kyle Petty got to do with this?
I forgot we're allowed to use the soundboard in this
oh.
Discord.
Oh. Here's what. Oh, do we have it? Where's it at? Oh, we don't. Oh, we don't. Wait, do we? Yeah, this is probably. We'll get one. This is in honor of Tyler Connors from Monday night. This is probably what Shorts was thinking as he's coming up to make the final pass for the championship.
Slow car's going to be in the way.
I'll go ahead and do that for the fun of it.
Both these cars are driving terrible right now.
Good stuff.
Nah, they're driving good.
It's always good stuff, but they said loose, tight, all the good stuff. Love a good soundboard as well. All right, your final thoughts here tonight.
Happy birthday, Trevor Payne, 20 years old.
They're my final thoughts.
His final thoughts. Happy birthday, Jonathan Schwartz. You won a championship. Let's take a quick look at your final race results here this evening. All the way down. We got it all on the main screen. Wayne Ruprack got some early damage there from contact with Michael Davis. Jackson Carr pulled off the track from the second position. Glenn Murphy Jr., from the words of his teammates, he just messed up. Travis De Leon comes home 16th. Samuel Demien. Tony Scarbo, Chris Pinder, Jonathan Mazzella, Casey Brown, Adam Kilday, and Ryan Tiller all multiple laps down. Joseph Murata, first top 10 of the season, well-run race from him, as is Eric Shields. And then 5 cars on the lead lap. Jared Lindsay, your race winner. Jonathan Schwartz, your champion. Just a fantastic way to end the season of LSRL Xfinity Series. Can't wait to see what's in store for these guys next season. And that'll do it from us here tonight. We'll be back this Friday night, 8 o'clock Eastern for the Rod Car Truck Tour. And then next Monday night, the Affinity Racing Series opens up their playoffs, which Randy Arms will be in there as well. So we'll try and make it another run for the title. And we will have all the flag-to-flag coverage starting next week at Kansas at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next Tuesday we're off. Don't know what we're going to do, but it should be a good time. Stay tuned to the Twitter. Follow Twitter and Twitch to not miss a second of on-track action from your favorite drivers and leagues. Look forward to seeing you back here Friday night. Y'all take care.